The Stanley Parable. I have never played this game before. However, my best friend has played it recently, and I know it has stressed her out so much. So I thought, should we give it a go and see if it stresses me out? I've seen a few clips here and there, but I haven't actually watched the full game. So I actually torture myself and won't watch my favourite YouTubers' videos on games I want to play. um, so yeah, as soon as Jess started playing it and was screaming at me down the mic because it wasn't going the way she wanted it to, I thought I'm gonna have to try it. So have we played the Stanley Parable before? No, we haven't. So the computer is barely visible. I'd say there. For me, it is anyway. I'm a little bit bunged up. I think I might have a cold coming. Please enter the current time. Oh, Jesus Christ. It is 6 minutes past 10. Oh. Okay, it's probably 7 now. Let's have a look. No, it's still 6. There we go. Okie dokie. Yeah, I'm a little bit like bunged up a little bit. Okay.
This is the story of a man named Stanley. Stanley worked for a company in a big building where he was employee number 427.
I'd have to change my number.
Employee number 427's job was simple. He sat at his desk in room 427 and he pushed buttons on a keyboard. Orders came to him through a monitor on his desk, telling him what buttons to push, how long to push them, and in what order. This is what employee 427 did every day of every month of every year. And although others might have considered it soul-rending, Stanley relished every moment that the orders came in, as though he had been made exactly for this job. And Stanley was happy.
Yeah,
and then
number
one
427.
Day, something very peculiar happened.
Oh?
Something that would forever change Stanley. Something he would never quite forget. He had been at his desk for nearly an hour when he realized that not one single order had arrived on the monitor for him to follow. No one had showed up to give him instructions.
Oh, it couldn't be those numbers either.
Or even say hi. Never in all his years at the company had
Oh, that
this
one's good.
happened. This
424.
complete isolation.
I'd make him swap with me.
Something was very clearly wrong. Shocked, frozen solid, Stanley found himself unable to move for the longest time. But as he came to his wits and regained his senses, he got up from his desk and stepped out of his office.
Oh shit, is this us? Oh. Oh. Oh yeah, room 428 feels good as well. Not
All of his
429.
co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo.
Okay. Hello, everybody. How's everybody doing? What's in the drawers? Oh. Can we do anything? No. Oh. How am I typing when I don't have a keyboard in front of me? Can we run? Can we sprint? Can't sprint, can't crouch, can't jump.
When Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors, he entered the door on his left.
But could he go through the right door? I don't know, something feels weird. I feel like I should do what he's saying. Is this going to make me jump? This game better not make me jump. It's too early for jump scares. I didn't think it was that kind of game.
Yet there was not a single person here either. Feeling a wave of disbelief, Stanley decided to go up to his boss's office, hoping he might find an answer there.
Oh God, I don't like it.
Coming to a staircase, Stanley walked upstairs to his boss's office.
Ooh. I want to see. Nice. Nice. Huh? Because the boss knows that what the boss says goes. If the boss has suffered losses, then that's what the boss chose. Fair enough. I agree. We must be vampire. We've got no reflection. Nice chairs. Although I'd have 4, I wouldn't have 3. Whew. This looks sort of like old school Resident Evil to me. No, definitely locked. Just in case they're playing tricks. Hello? Boss man? Where's Jane? Jane? You've left your post again! God's sick. Just can't get the staff these days. Yeah, boss man!
Stepping into his manager's office, Stanley was once again stunned to discover not an indication of any human life. Shocked, unraveled, Stanley wondered in disbelief who orchestrated this, what dark secret was being held from him. What he could not have known was that the keypad behind the boss's desk guarded the terrible truth that his boss had been keeping from him. And so the boss had assigned it an extra secret PIN number, 2845. But of course, Stanley couldn't possibly have known this.
Fuck all that! This is my kind of place. Have you seen the amount of books in this place? This!
Stanley just sat around twiddling his thumbs. Trying to input anything on the device was useless, since he could never possibly know that the combination was 2845.
Okay, I'll get there, thank you. I'm admiring the books. There's got to be over 200 books in this place.
2845.
All right. Jesus. Where am I supposed to put it then? Huh? Oh. What did you say? 5649?
But it turns out that the panel's emergency override kicked in, and the door just opened all by itself. And Stanley got the hell along with the story. Well, do.
Oh, so I could piss you off, could I? Could I? So what if I don't go through that door? Are you going to tell me to move along? You didn't even let me press the buttons. I was trying to admire. I mean, he's got some shit pictures. I mean, I'm guessing these books are like life books. Do you know what I mean? Like how to make your life better. How to be a good boss. How to piss the narrator off. Whereas mine would be full of Sarah J. Maas, Mads Raffi, Rebecca Yarros. I mean, yeah. Frida McFadden. Oh, look at this would just be so cool. It's like a murder scene or what? Narrator, I don't like it. Can you get me out, please? Where do we go? If you think I'm going in the fucking lift of doom, you can think again. Hello? Narrator, where are you? You fucking couldn't shut up 5 minutes ago. Why does that look like blood? I'm not doing it. I'm not going down there, no way. What's here? Oh, you're joking. Open the door! There's got to be something else, right? Right? What was it? So it'd be 2. So there'd be a 3 here, which means a 6 would be there, which means 8 would be here. So then 2, 3. I can't remember what it was. Was it 2, 8, 4, 7? What was it? 2. Where is it? Where's the button? 2. 6, 7, 8, 5, 7. Shit. Well, looks like Lift of Doom it is. There's fucking nowhere else to go. Oh, I did not like that. This is where we go down to like a whole pool of blood. Everyone's dead.
Descending deeper into the building, Stanley realized he felt a bit peculiar. It was a stirring of emotion in his chest, as though he felt more free to think for himself, to question the nature of his job. Why did he feel this now, when for years it had never occurred to him? This question would not go unanswered for long.
Ugh. I'd like to get back up, please.
Whoops, nope, never mind. Stanley actually got back into the elevator and went back up. Silly me.
Yeah.
Why did Stanley do that when he knew that it would just lead back to his boss's office? Well, that's a great question. I just can't wait to find out.
But I didn't want to die. That's why. Because Stanley came out, went through here, and the door was waiting to be
Here we
open.
are, Stanley. It's your boss's office.
Yes.
Exactly the way it was before you got onto the elevator. It's still just exactly what it is. What a decision you've made to come up here and look at the office again. This has fleshed out the plot of the story in new and fascinating ways I could have never anticipated.
All right,
It's
sarcastic
keen eye for
twat.
storytelling that you have. An incisive rapid fire of critical
All
plot
right.
points, one after the other, weaving a rich tapestry of uncompromising narrative. Well,
Can I press the button, please, you
I'm
sarcastic
bolted to the edge of my
twat?
seat.
I'm bolted to the edge of my seat.
Now he's getting back into the elevator and going down again. Ladies and gentlemen, how does he keep coming up with all of this?
I hope we meet you so I can chop your fucking tongue out your head.
Surely this time Stanley will walk forward into the spooky corridor, won't he?
Oh yeah, yeah. Stanley will walk forward into the spooky corridor. I don't see you coming with me anywhere, Mr. Fucking clearly sitting somewhere watching me like a freak.
Stanley walked straight ahead through the large door that read Mind Control Facility.
The fuck Stanley did. The fuck Stanley did. I'm not doing it. Oh, then again, I can't be asked you whinging at me. Mind control facility. Escape. Mind control facility. Escape!
Although this passageway had the word escape written on it, the truth was that at the end of this hall, Stanley would meet his violent death.
Mind control sounds pretty good.
But But of course, Stanley thought better of it and realized he simply had too much to live for.
Yeah, definitely. Wanted to continue hearing your fucking voice for the rest of my fucking
The lights
eternity.
rose on an enormous room packed with television screens. What horrible secret did this place hold? Stanley thought to himself. Did he have the strength to find out?
Oh. I mean, we got no fucking choice, do we? Because apparently I'm gonna have a violent death if I go to the fucking word escape.
Now the monitors jumped to life, their true nature revealed. Each bore the number of an employee in the building, Stanley's co-workers. The lives of so many individuals reduced to images on a screen, and Stanley, one of them, eternally monitored in this place where freedom meant nothing.
Where were we? We were like, there we are. 427. I mean, was we even sitting in it? Is that pre-recorded or what? What's this?
This mind control facility, it was too horrible to believe. It couldn't be true. Had Stanley really been under someone's control all this time? Was this the only reason he was happy with his boring job? That his emotions had been manipulated to accept it blindly? No. He refused to believe it. He couldn't accept it. His own life in someone else's control? Never. It was unthinkable. Wasn't
they
it?
got squished.
Was it even possible? Had he truly spent his entire life utterly blind to the world?
I mean...
But here was the proof. The heart of the operation. Controls labeled with emotions. Happy, or sad, or content. Walking, eating, working. All of it monitored and commanded from this very place. And as the cold reality of his past began to sink in, Stanley decided that this machinery would never again exert its terrible power over another human life. For he would dismantle the controls once and for all.
Nice. Okay, there's a button up there. Mind controls. Idle. Okay, let's just push this button, see what it does. Push the button. Doesn't do jack shit. But there is one up there. Let's go to that one first. I'm not going down that dark corridor just yet. Okay, 2, 1. 1, 2. I don't know what we're doing. I'm just guessing at this point. Cage is fucking shut anyway. That was pointless. Gonna have to go in the scary room of death. Hello? Any wankers available to press some buttons with me?
And when at last he found the source of the room's power...
I pressed off before you could even finish your sentence.
blackness, and a rising chill of uncertainty. Was it over? Yes! He had won! He had defeated the machine, unshackled himself from someone else's command. Freedom was mere moments away. And yet, even as the immense door slowly opened, Stanley reflected on how many puzzles still lay unsolved. Where had his co-workers gone?
Stanley didn't give a fuck.
Freed from the machine's grasp.
Stanley wanted to get outside into Toy Story World.
Strange building hold. But as sunlight streamed into the chamber, he realized none of this mattered to him.
Nope,
For
see?
it was not knowledge or even power that he had been seeking, but happiness.
What's it going down?
Perhaps his goal had not been to understand, but to let go. No longer would anyone tell him
Goodbye.
where to go, what to do, or
But when will
how
we
to
see you
live.
again? No,
Whatever
no,
life he lives, it
never.
will be his. And that was all he needed to know.
Maybe
It was
someday.
perhaps the only thing worth knowing. Stanley stepped through the open door.
It's fake. That's fake, right? Pearl's gonna be around there somewhere, shagging a scarecrow.
Stanley felt the cool breeze upon his skin, the feeling of liberation, the immense possibility of the new path before him. This was exactly the way, right now, that things were meant to happen. And Stanley was happy.
Is that it? I beat the game. Why are we back in here? Why are we back in here? I thought we beat the game. Oh, fake ass bitches. It's fake, wasn't
All
it?
of his co-workers were gone.
What?
Could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo.
What? Okay, have we got to do this again? If I have to listen to him talk again.
When Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors, he entered the door on his left.
No, he didn't.
This was not the correct way to the meeting room, and Stanley knew it perfectly well. Perhaps he wanted to stop by the employee lounge first, just to admire it.
No, Stanley didn't give a fucking
Yes, truly
shit.
a room worth admiring. It
Yep.
had really been worth the detour
drinks.
after all. Just
Yes,
to
it
spend
had.
a few but eager to get back to business, Stanley took the first open door on his left.
No, he didn't.
Stanley was so bad at following directions, it's incredible he wasn't fired years ago. Look, Stanley, I think perhaps we've gotten off on the wrong foot here. I'm not your enemy, really, I'm not. I realize that investing your trust in someone else can be difficult, but the fact is that the story has been about nothing but you all this time. There's someone you've been neglecting, Stanley. Someone you've forgotten about. Please, stop trying to make every decision by yourself. Now, I'm not asking for me, I'm asking for her.
Who's her? You've got
This is it,
Shaniqua.
Stanley. Your chance to redeem yourself, to put your work aside, to let her back into your life. She's been waiting.
Who's she? Ha! Stanley doesn't give a fuck. What?
That's her, Stanley. You need to be the one to do this, to reach out to her. If you can truly place your faith in another, then pick up the phone.
No, I'm gonna let it ring. You don't let it ring, 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 ring. You don't hit my line no more. Oh, oh. I know when the hotline bling, that can only mean one thing. All I do is I'm not picking it up. I'm not doing it. Open the fucking door. Oh. I can crouch. Right, no, oh, hey, the ball dance. Oh, for fuck's sake. What do you want?
Oh, Stanley, is that you? Hold on, sweetie. Sorry to keep you waiting. I'm just pulling the bread out of the oven. All right. Okay, there we go. All right, now, I want you to come in and tell me all about
Your damn.
Gotcha! Oh, come on. Did you actually think you had a loving wife? Who'd
No, I
want to
didn't.
commit their life to you? I'm trying to make a point here, Stanley. I'm trying to get you to see something. Come inside. Let me show you what's really going on here.
Nope.
Sorry, but you're in my story now.
The fuck I am. Open the door. Open the door. Oh, you son of a bitch. Punch him in the face. Punch him in the face.
This is a very sad story about the death of a man named Stanley.
Huh? What's this? Good morning, employee. I don't want to. No! I'm not done, do it. I'm not gonna press the button. We're gonna wait and see what you're gonna do. Oh, I'm not pressing the button. Although I'm actually really impatient, I kind of want to press the button to get past this bit. Do you have pants on or not? You do have pants on, but you don't have a bra on. That's kind of awkward for me and you. You got a very strange face. What are we looking at? You look like you got a bum hole for an ear. Oh, fuck it.
Stanley is quite a boring fellow. He has a job that demands nothing of him, and every button that he pushes is a reminder of the inconsequential nature of his existence. Look at him there, pushing buttons, doing exactly what he's told to do. Now he's pushing a button. Now he's eating lunch. Now he's going home. Now he's coming back to work. One might even feel sorry for him, except that he's chosen this life.
Actually, I don't have any other option to press said button. What to press other buttons? See? I can't press anything. So I've got no option.
But in his mind, in his mind he can go on fantastic adventures. From behind his desk, Stanley
Did you just
dreamed
fucking
of
move?
wild expeditions into the unknown.
Did she just wobble her head?
Fantastic discoveries of new lands. It was wonderful. And each day that he
Is her head
returned to
moving,
work
like
was a
slowly?
reminder that none of it would ever happen to him.
I'm watching you.
And so he began to fantasize about his own job. First, he imagined that one day while at work, he stepped up from his desk to realize that all of his co-workers, his boss, everyone in the building had suddenly vanished off the face of the earth. The thought excited him terribly. So he went further. He imagined that he came to two open doors and that he could go through either. At last, choice. It barely even mattered what lay behind each door. The mere thought that his decisions would mean something was almost too wonderful to behold. As he wandered through this fantasy world, he began to fill it with many possible paths and destinations.
Wait.
Down one path lay an enormous round room with monitors and mind
Did this look like this a second ago?
Down another was a yellow line that weaved in many directions, and down another was a game with a baby. And he called it the Stanley Parable.
Press to tell you a good story. Samantha, did this look like this? You and Jane are working together, aren't you?
It was such a wonderful fantasy, and so in his head he relived it again, and then again, and again, over and over, wishing beyond hope that it would never end, that he might always feel this free. Surely there's an answer down some new path, mustn't there be? Perhaps if he played just one more time.
I don't have a wife!
But there is no answer. How could there possibly be? In reality, all he's doing is pushing the same buttons he always has. Nothing has changed. The longer he
pushing my fucking
spends here,
buttons
the
right about
more
now.
invested
Need a
he
drink.
gets, the more he forgets which life is the real one. And I'm
Let's go
trying to
see.
tell him this, that in this world he can never be anything but an observer, that as long as he remains here, he's slowly killing himself. He
Brilliant.
won't listen to me. He won't stop. Here, watch this. Stanley, the next time the screen asks you to push a button, do not do it. You see? Can he just not hear me? How can I tell him in a way that he'll understand that every second he remains here, he's electing to kill himself? How can I get him to see what I see? How can I make him look at himself? I suppose I can't, not in the way I want him to. But I don't make the rules. I simply play to my intended purpose, the same as Stanley. We're not so different, I suppose. I'll try once more to convey all this to him. I'm compelled to. I must. Perhaps, well,
Can you
maybe
just
this time
unlock
he'll
the
see.
door?
Maybe this time. And I tried again, and Stanley pushed a button.
What?
And I tried again, and Stanley pushed a button. And I tried.
That motherfucker just killed me. That's my stomach. I do apologise if you can hear it rumbling. I didn't die.
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it
What
mean?
could it mean?
Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo.
La 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 la.
When Stanley
Go
came to a
through the
set
left
of two
this
open
time.
doors, he entered the door on his left.
Yes, he did, didn't he? Because Stanley's being a good boy for now.
Yet there was not a single person here either. Feeling a
What's
wave
this?
of disbelief,
Talk less.
Stanley decided to go
Right.
up to his boss's office, hoping he might find an answer there. Coming to a staircase, Stanley
we can
walked
go
upstairs to his boss's office.
down.
But Stanley just couldn't do it.
No.
He considered the possibility of facing his boss. Admitting he had left his post during work hours, he might be fired for that. And in such a competitive economy, why had he taken that risk? All because he believed everyone had vanished? His boss would think he was crazy. And then something occurred to Stanley. Maybe, he thought to himself, maybe I am crazy. All of my co-workers blinking mysteriously out of existence in a single moment for no reason at all? None of it made any logical sense. And as Stanley pondered this, he began to make other strange observations. For example, why couldn't he see his feet when he looked down? Why did doors close automatically behind him wherever he went? And for that matter, these rooms were starting to look pretty familiar. Were they simply repeating? No, Stanley said to himself, this is all too strange. This can't be real. And at last, he came to the conclusion that had been on the tip of his tongue. He just hadn't found the words for it. I'm dreaming, he yelled. This is all a dream. Oh, what a relief Stanley felt to have finally found an answer, an explanation. His co-workers weren't actually gone. He wasn't going to lose his job. He wasn't crazy after all. And he thought to himself, I suppose I'll wake up soon. I'll have to go back to my boring real-life job pushing buttons. I may as well enjoy this while I'm still lucid.
Enjoy what?
So, he imagined himself flying and began to gently float above the ground. Then he imagined himself soaring through space on a magical starfield, and it too appeared. It was so much fun, and Stanley marveled that he had still not woken up. How was he remaining so lucid? And then perhaps the strangest question of them all entered Stanley's head. One he was amazed he hadn't asked himself sooner. Why is there a voice in my head dictating everything that I'm doing and thinking? Now the voice was describing itself being considered by Stanley, who found it particularly strange. I'm dreaming about a voice describing me, thinking about how it's describing my thoughts, he thought. And while he thought it all very odd and wondered if this voice spoke to all people
Well,
in
we
their
go backwards.
dreams, the truth
Ooh,
was that,
oh,
of
shit.
course, this was not a dream.
Backwards man, the
How could
backwards
it
man.
be? Was Stanley simply deceiving himself, believing that if he's asleep, he
Fucking
doesn't have
hell,
to
mate,
take
you don't have to go
responsibility for
on.
himself? Stanley is as awake right now as he's ever been in his life. Now, hearing the voice speak these words was quite a shock to Stanley. After all, he knew for certain, beyond a doubt, that this
I'm
was in
actually
fact a
getting
dream.
tired.
Did the voice not see him float and make the magical stars just a moment ago? How else would the voice explain all that? This voice was a part of himself too. Surely, if he could just... He would prove it. He would prove that he was in control, that this was a dream. So he closed his eyes gently, and he invited himself to wake up. He felt the cool weight of the blanket on his skin, the press of the mattress on his back, the fresh air of a world outside this one. Let me wake up, he thought to himself. I'm through with this dream. I wish it to be over. Let me go back to my job. Let me continue pushing the buttons. Please, it's all I want. I want my apartment, and my wife, and my job.
We don't have a wife.
All I want is my life exactly the way it's always been.
We don't have a wife.
My life is normal. I am normal.
No, we're not.
Everything will be fine.
No, it's not.
I am okay. Stanley began screaming. Please, someone, wake me up. My name is Stanley. I have a boss. I have an office. I am real. Please, just someone tell me I am real. I must be real. I must be. Can anyone hear my voice? Who am I? Who am I? And everything went black.
Thank fuck for that.
This is the story of a woman named Mariella.
Oh, for fuck's sake.
Mariella woke up on a day like any other. She arose, got dressed, gathered her belongings, and walked to her place of work. But on this particular day, her walk was interrupted by the body of a man who had stumbled through town talking and screaming to himself, and then
Oh, I got out
collapsed
then.
dead on the sidewalk.
What?
And although she would soon turn to go call for an ambulance, for just a few brief moments, she considered the strange man. He was obviously crazy. This much she knew. Everyone knows what crazy people look like. And in that moment, she thought to herself how lucky she was to be normal. I am sane. I am in control of my mind. I know what is real and what isn't. It was comforting to think this, and in a certain way, seeing this man made her feel better. But then she remembered the meeting she had scheduled for that day, the very important people whose impressions of her would affect her career, and by extension, the rest of her life. She had no time for this, so it was only a moment that she stood there, staring down at the body. And then she turned and ran.
What a bitch. I'm dying on the floor here. Wow. Oh, you're taking the piss. Right. I know where we're going
All
now.
of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean?
Oh, I don't
Stanley
know.
decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo.
Yep. Meeting room. Then we'll go through door 11.
When Stanley
11? The
came
fuck
to
am
a
I
set
about?
of two
Left.
open doors, he entered the door on his left.
We already did. Oh, look. Meeting room. We're going to go through the door.
Yet there
We're
was
gonna
not
go
a single
up the
person there
stairs.
either.
No.
Feeling
Sorry, guys.
weary
Just
with
coming through. Sorry,
disbelief,
don't mean to
Stanley
interrupt. Looking
decided
for the
to go
bots
up
and
to
everybody
his
that's gone
boss's
missing.
office, hoping he might find a
I'm
to a
starting to feel a bit
staircase.
crazy with this man
Stanley walked
talking because he
upstairs
won't
to
shut the
his
fuck
boss's
up.
office.
Yes, I know. And it's, what is it? 2, 8, fucking 4, 7, something like that. I don't know. Is this door open yet? Oh! Oh. Ooh. Someone's holding a gun to that poor panda's head. My boss is a fucking awful man. No. 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 I know where I want to go.
Stepping into his manager's office, Stanley was once again stunned to discover not an
Yes.
indication of any human life.
2.
What could it mean? Stanley wondered aloud to nobody.
Come
He
on!
began wildly tearing through papers on the boss's desk, pulling books off the shelf, looking behind paintings, desperate for clues to his situation. But his attention was caught by a keypad behind the boss's desk.
Yes, come on.
What could its purpose be? In fact, this keypad guarded the terrible secret that lay buried below his feet. And so the boss had assigned it an extra secret PIN number, 2845.
2,
But of
8.
course, Stanley couldn't possibly have known. Yet incredibly, by simply pushing random buttons on the keypad, Stanley happened to input the correct code by sheer luck. Amazing. He stepped into the newly opened
Amazing.
passageway.
Yeah, we did. You know where we're going, right? I know where we're going. We're not going back up, so you can keep your fucking pants dry. I'm talking to the narrator, by the way. I know. Spooky. Woo! Spooky corridor.
Stanley walked straight ahead
Oh,
through the large
fucking-
door that read Mind Control Facility.
Yeah, mind control facility, but we're not gonna. Whoa! Escape.
Although this passageway had the word escape written on it, the truth was that at the end of this hall,
Stanley would meet his
violent
violent death. Yes, violent death for Stanley instead of listening to your
The door behind
fucking
him was not
voice.
shut. Stanley still had every opportunity to turn around and get back on track.
Yes, he did, didn't he?
At
But
this point,
Stanley didn't
was
want
making a
to.
conscious, concerted effort to walk forward.
Yes, he was.
And
It's called
willingly confront his death.
About to unalive. Ready? 3, 2, 1. Goodbye. Oh!
As the machine whirred into motion and Stanley was inched closer and closer to his demise, he reflected that his life had been of no consequence whatsoever.
How did we
Stanley
survive?
can't see the bigger picture. He doesn't know the real story, trapped forever in his narrow vision of what this world is. Perhaps his
Wait,
death
wait,
would
wait,
have
wait, wait,
made
wait, wait,
loss
wait.
by plucking the eyeballs
Wait.
from a blind man.
No, 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 no,
So
no.
he resigned and willingly accepted this violent end to his brief and shallow life. Farewell, Stanley.
Oh my god! Oh my god! Oh my god! Oh my god!
"Farewell, Stanley," cried the narrator, as Stanley was led helplessly into the enormous metal jaws. In a single visceral instant, Stanley was obliterated as the machine crushed every bone in his body, killing him instantly.
Okay.
And yet it would be just a few minutes before Stanley would restart the game, back in his office, as alive as ever. What exactly did the narrator think he was going to accomplish? When every path you can walk has been created for you long in advance, death becomes meaningless, making life the same. Do you see now? Do you see that Stanley was already dead from the moment he hit start?
What? The pacing of this opening section was important to get right. The corridor has been moved to altered to make sure the player reaches the 2 doors in a good time. Office layout. This blueprint shows the office from the beginning of the game. The path from Stanley's office to the 2 doors was the first part of the game that was built. Sections have been added and altered throughout development. Through the core layout remains almost identical to the first iteration. Stanley's computer. This is so cool. Nature paintings. Okay. The office. The two doors. The set of two doors. The set of the two doors was the very first concrete piece of the Stanley Parable design. Once this room was created, the rest of the game emerged as an extension of it, an exploration of the contradiction this room posed. Filing cabinets. Office computers. Oh, look at that solitaire. Wow, it actually used to look like this. A selection of sounds used throughout the game when buttons are pressed. Each sound is a mix of keyboard stroke and synthesized tone. I think that's it. Model design. Credits. Have we done it? Did we do the game? The office. Maintenance room. Wow, this is awesome. This has blown me away a little bit. Boss's office scenes with the development. Office clock. I noticed it was always that time. I heard him talk then.
Now look closely, Stanley. See how it's impossible for the player to do anything in this room. Perfect example of poor level design, textbook mistake. It's the kind of thing you'd pick up on intuitively if you had even the most fundamental understanding.
Yeah,
of
okay, I
good and bad
can't
games.
listen to that. That's to drive me nuts. Okay, so have we done the game? Are we done? Freedom ending. This was the very first. Countdown desk. One of the desks from an early version of the countdown ending. Oh, I didn't get that one. Freedom ending as it existed in beta. Monitor room elevator. For a time, the elevator in the monitor room could go up or down, with freedom above and countdown below. We abandoned this when players found it too difficult to remember what was up and what was down, and placed the two endings together instead. Countdown room. This is absolutely brilliant, this is. Oh, they're different. From left to right, the evolution of Stanley's office over time. The first was created in November 2011, the second March 2012, and the third in February 2013. Oh, nice. Wow. This is brilliant, this is. So I assume we're going to go through the exit, and it's probably going to
Oh, look at these two.
take us back to the
How they
beginning.
wish to destroy one another. How they wish to control one another. How they both wish to be free. Can you see? Can you see how much they need one another? No, perhaps not. Sometimes these things cannot be seen.
Oh my god.
But listen
Well,
to me. You
Huh?
can still save those two. You can stop the program before they both fail.
What? For
Turn
what?
off your PlayStation. There's no other way to beat this game.
As long as you move forward, you'll be walking someone else's path. Stop now and it'll be your only true choice. Whatever you do, choose it. Don't let time choose for you. Don't let...
Oh, well, I'm not gonna turn my fucking PlayStation off, am I? Woo! Wow. I think I'm gonna leave it there. I'm gonna obviously we'll pop back and we'll do another. We'll see if we can get a couple of the other endings. But I can't just turn it off. I'm mid-recording. Otherwise, I would have. I could have. We could have seen what happened the next time we turned it on. But we can save that for another one. We'll try to do that one again and see if we turn it off when we then turn it back on. Oh, sorry, it's a bit different. This game took it out of me a little bit. Well, yeah, I'd like to try and get the other endings, so we'll pop back to this. Thanks for sitting and listening to the narrator talk. I liked the lady's voice at the end. It was a difference, that's for sure. So let's pop back next time and have a couple more arguments. I'm going to go through the other door in the boss's office. We'll go down the elevator and see what's going on that way. I don't know if there's any other options that we can do after that. If there isn't, we're going to have to go through all that again. I do apologise, and I'll turn the PlayStation off and we'll see what happens. So until the next time, don't get caught in a loop.